大家好，歡迎大家返嚟我哋 TRE 嘅 podcast。咁我哋今一集都係繼續有我哋嘅老師 TRE 嘅老師 Ching 同埋 Michelle 同我哋一齊。上一集佢哋就都分享咗好多關於TRE，譬如我哋 shift 嘅過程裡面其實唔單止係可以釋放壓力，而且係可以帶到俾我哋好多嘅個人嘅成長。亦都幫助我哋係可以更加覺得安全喺我哋嘅身體裏面。咁我哋今一集會講多少少就係 Ching 同 Michelle 係會從佢哋作為 trainer 嘅角度去講多少少佢哋嘅一啲嘅觀察同埋一啲嘅洞見嘅。如果你錯過咗上一集建議大家去聽翻或者睇翻啦。我哋喺YouTube 上面就係會有英文字幕嘅，咁容易啲俾大家去跟翻。好，咁我哋就開始今日嘅 podcast。Welcome back to the second episode with our wonderful TRE trainers and teachers, Ching and Michelle. Hi, Ching and Michelle. Hi, Sun.
Hello.
Yeah, so in this episode, Ching and Michelle will share more from their own observations and experience as a TRE trainer. Different people approach TRE differently. So from your experience as trainers, what are some of the good mindsets that can enhance the effectiveness of TRE? Maybe Michelle can share first.
Well, I think most important is to be open, to not have expectations. We live our life with so many expectations that if we come to TRE just to experience our body, get in touch with our body, if we start at that place, certainly we'll learn something. It's really hard to manage an expectation of something we've never done before. So if I think I want to do TRE once and get rid of my trauma, it's not going to happen, and it may not happen in 10 sessions. It may happen in 5 sessions. So not to have expectations is another thing. You can have intention. Intention is a good thing, but that's different than expectations.
Can you elaborate more on the difference between expectation and intention?
Expectation has a specific outcome, like I want to cure my frozen shoulder, and then you go to shake that day and everything shakes except the shoulder, and then you're frustrated. But an intention would be, today I have the intention of finding a new sense of relaxation, getting deeper into my body, maybe and to focus on my breathing. That's a very possible outcome because it's not a finite result and it doesn't require performance.
Yeah, so what you mean, I think it's let go of the outcomes, right? Like the expectations, let go of the outcomes that you want. You can have an intention, but at the same time be open to whatever will happen for your body, right?
Yeah, I like to think of it as TRE allows for our mind and body to be more connected, and for our cognitive mind and our body to have a little bit more understanding of one another, right, in terms of our physiology. And the mindset I would say would be helpful is being curious, being willing to just listen in. And you may not understand all that's happening, the sensations that are moving or things that are not moving in the body, but just being willing to just be in witness of and then being curious about it. So, and people who are in that space, I find they really deepen their tremors, they deepen their journey and their and breakthroughs, as you were talking about before. It's more available to them.
Openness, curiosity are the two important mindsets that can enhance the effectiveness of TRE. Yeah, we talked about curiosity, openness as very important and good mindsets that can help us get the most out of the TRE. And how about some obstacles? I mean, of course, the opposite side of openness and curiosity might be the obstacles, but still want to invite you to share what are some of the obstacles that might hinder someone in gaining more out of TRE?
Well, one thing could be that I'm listening to my head and not my heart and my body. So my head may say I'm safe, but my body's giving a strong indication I'm not safe. But I'm so hooked into what my cognitive brain is saying that I'm caught and I get frustrated, and that really gets in the way. The cognitive brain really gets in the way.
I would say thinking that TRE is going to fix something and then you do it as a doing, and that also doesn't help. The other thing is sometimes people don't do it. People only, it's like vitamins, right? So people say it's good for you and they know it, but they won't take it. And if you don't practice it, it's also an obstacle to finding some relief or finding a healing in that process.
Yeah, that's why we always encourage our participants to practice. Not that practice can make perfect, but really practicing TRE regularly can really help to have more breakthroughs, I would say. Sometimes just takes time, like for your body to get ready to have those breakthroughs. And can you perhaps share one or two examples about like how the cognitive or the head part can sometimes blocking us from connecting to our body or sort of hindering us to get more out of TRE? Can you share more on that? Like maybe one or two examples?
For me, when the brain kicks in, one or two things can happen. One is the person actually, the tremoring stops or is much lessened because they are kind of in the head and they're trying to figure out what's happening. The head can't help the body. The body has its own innate understanding and wisdom, and we need to let it speak and express itself. The other thing that happens when we are too much in our head is we then do a lot of interventions, a lot of self-interventions. We, like Michelle's example about the frozen shoulder, then I start to move this, move that, put my leg here, put my leg there. And by the time you munch around your body so much, the process gets interrupted so that there is no authentic emergence, organic emergence of what might be showing up for the body to discharge.
Another way the cognitive brain gets in the way is a little less conscious. So the brain knows that it's kept you safe for so long. And when the shake starts to come on, the brain sometimes, the ego, the brain goes a little haywire because it doesn't know what's happening. And so it tries to control the body. That's a little more subtle, but you can get to it by getting just people to generally relax and be open. But sometimes that's a big factor. The body's been like this for 50 years, 40 years, 30 years. Why should I shake?
So actually, do you have any good suggestions for us to really let go of our logical brain and let our body take control? Because we are so used to use our logical brain to organize our work, organize our daily lives. So we don't even know how to, shut down our brain.
And that's why practice is important, and also awareness is important. So that's why when people do TRE with a provider, it's really helpful when the provider shares with them, or they kind of come to an awareness that, oh, that's when my brain's kicking in. And then something happens as they're moving, oh, that's when my brain kicks in, right? So in the practice of recognizing when your brain kicks in, it's not a perfect solution, but it also increases your own self-awareness that I'm no longer allowing my body, I'm actually trying to tell my body.
And the strategy is different for everybody. Some people need to take their mind off things and talk to the provider about football scores or something like that. And sometimes they need to be quiet and look inside. Sometimes they need to be guided, like doing a body scan or something. So it's really different. To get the big thinkers not to think is a different strategy. there's different strategies.
Interesting.
On this, I think we don't have to shut down the brain. I mean, in any case, it will work. I mean, it's like even autopilot, it's working, right? Maybe just give way to the body, right? Just give maybe 1% more each time. Give way to the body and gradually build up the trust and trust in the body. In Hong Kong, both Sun and I offer TRE workshops and provision of TRE. Usually we have more female participants than male participants. The proportion of men and women is usually just 3 to 7. So 70% or even more of the participants are female. So we don't really have a lot of chance to observe men shaking. So we're curious if there is a difference between men and women when they're doing TRE, as you have observed. We don't want to, stereotype men or women, put them into boxes, but just can you share if anything that you have observed?
Well, one thing is on a physical level, I notice sometimes they have different points that are really tense or tight. For instance, the neck. Generally, if I have someone who can't lay flat, so when you can't lay flat, your head goes back up and it looks really uncomfortable. That's usually a man. I don't know why, maybe because they've done more desk work or I don't even know the why of it, but also men sometimes have a harder time getting their feet flat on the floor when they're shaking. They're often, the big toes are off the ground. I don't know the why of it. Those are some common observations. So I'm ready to offer some different support to men sometimes when they're shaking.
Mm-hmm.
I find them do a lot more crunches, where your abdomen, your abdominals gets really contracted. And it's like they're getting 6 packs just by doing TRE. San, what's your experience?
I would think about more on the talks we have with the participants, like we do check-ins and debriefing after the shake. I think men tends to talk about the shake, how they shake, where they shake, or the sensation of the shaking. But women will talk more holistically, maybe their feelings, maybe their things that outside of the shake, maybe about their lives, about how they interact with people after a period of shakes. So yeah, again, we don't want to generalize, but I think men would see TRE as more functional to their physical movement. Yeah, do you think so, Ching?
Yeah, I would agree. I find that it's also safer in a way to allow for however the genders want to express themselves in terms of what shows up in their tremor. And what I noticed then is when they feel safer in doing that, so they share as much of the story or no story, but I like to focus them when they come back again for tremoring to find out what's different now. Well, how are you showing up in the world that's a little different this time? And then later on, after several sessions, then there is as Michelle says, the lowering of the guard, allowing for more open, more willingness to share a little deeper. And that may well be true for men and women. So there are also women who also are very guarded, right? Everyone comes with their stories, and that is really what shapes them regardless of gender.
How about in terms of safety? Usually, do you find it more difficult to help men to feel safer or more difficult to help women to feel safer when doing the shake? Maybe there's no difference. I mean, individual.
I find it's all very mixed up because sometimes we're confused about whether we're safe or not because of our gender, just because of who we are. But in general, women in general would be a little bit more willing to admit being not safe. Men have a very strong investment in holding their image and being safe. So sometimes they've never thought about the concept of not being safe as something that's possible.
You know, what I really learned in working with people is everyone really is a human organism. I find that, I know it sounds really dry to call a person a human organism, but when I am with them that way, I feel like then I can also respond in a more compassionate, in a more relatable way with them, that to create safety. Safety is really different for everyone. And with men, it's not like they need more safety. With men, I think to some extent, I feel like they need more permission, maybe more invitation to allow for. Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about a mixed gender environment, I, as a provider, I'm very cautious when I am providing TRE to ladies. In particular, while I was training, I was under Michelle's supervision. We talk a lot how I should position myself when I provide, TRE to ladies. And I have a story to share in my recent sort of teaching. We have a 4 lessons course. It's a face-to-face situation. We have 6 students. Together, we go through a 4 lessons course. And in this course in particular, we have more men than ladies, which is quite unusual. Yeah, we have 4 men and 2 ladies. And one lady's across the 4 lessons, she didn't shake a lot. And towards the 3rd and 4th lessons, she even felt dizzy when she was trying to do the, lay on the mat, do butterfly position. And until the end of the 4th lesson, she told me that, okay, maybe she feel a little bit unsafe with the other men. So I was quite, I won't say unexpected and surprised, but I feel that I should have done something. I feel that I should have noticed her concerns. So Michelle, Ching, do you share any experience or techniques when we are doing the shake with men and ladies together in one closed environment?
Well, I think it's you shouldn't put the expectation on yourself that you're going to see everything in the group setting. And part of it is just providing the environment for her to be able to see it. If she's not aware of it, very possibly you can't see it either, right? So don't put pressure on yourself that you should have known, you should have seen it. But once you get to it, then you could ask her what strategies might work. It might be as simple as the position she's in, maybe the position in the room. Maybe she wants to face another direction. Maybe she wants to put a cloth over her legs. We sometimes really forget how vulnerable the position of laying down and opening your legs is. So I don't think you did anything wrong by not catching it, but it was a great big breakthrough for her to catch it herself. Much more meaningful than you telling her.
I think so too. The honest truth is that it may not be about men. It could just be about shaking in a group. Sometimes the body doesn't feel very safe when they shake with other people in the room. And then I've also had people say to me, I feel so much more tremoring when I'm on my own than when I'm in the group, or they say the opposite. I feel so much more tremoring when I'm with the group than when I'm on my own. So these are the things that you are raising the level of awareness for people when you give them different environments. What I would do in a group generally is to make sure that I create safety up front, the introductions, giving them a little activity at the beginning where they get to know each other a little bit, that their nervous systems can interact a little bit before the shaking happens. I think helps to create one layer of safety. Then I invite them to be in an explorative mood, to be able to explore. Explore means, you have 4 sessions together, maybe walk around the room, lay down and see where you feel more comfortable in, listen to your body. And then next time, the next shake, you can go somewhere else and just test it out, just have a sense. And anytime you feel uncomfortable, you can shift. Giving that kind of permission that they can move around maybe also would be helpful for them to understand. Maybe it's the spot in the room that's giving them some sense of unsafety. Maybe it is because I'm shaking with 2 other men right next to me. We don't know that until we are willing to explore. And I think allowing for that and creating that context of we are listening to what our body is telling us actually creates another level of safety that I can actually change my mind, and invite more understanding of themselves as they, through their trauma or through their experience of themselves as they tremor.
Yeah, I guess one thing that in TRE we want people to know is they always have the choice. As you said, Ching, they can choose any space that they want to stay. They can choose to talk to other people or not in the group shaking section, right?
Yeah, totally. And when in your debrief, if they want to debrief with you because it's too exposed, it'd be interesting to invite them that, please come by and just have a chat with us if there's anything else you want to talk about. So sometimes you also can hear more and they can also understand themselves a little bit more just by talking to you about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. And I also just inspired by what Michelle just shared. I think sometimes we don't even notice that we don't feel safe. I mean, perhaps for the participant that you had, Sun, perhaps it's already a breakthrough that she notices that she doesn't feel safe, right? Sometimes, like for myself too, I can only find out when I finish the shaking. And I can tell from like whether I feel safer shaking alone or shaking in my room or shaking in my living room by the outcome of the shake. Like I feel calmer, I just feel more grounded. And then I find out that, I feel safer when shaking by myself in my room or someone leading me, seeing me, witnessing me shaking. So I think TRE just helps us really to connect with our body, to really be more congruent, more authentic, maybe. Sometimes perhaps we would suppress our feeling of feeling unsafe, right? Just to mingle with others, just to, social with others, maybe just to try to blend in, right? So it's a great example. Thank you, Sun. As the podcast is coming to an end, we have a final question for both Michelle and Ching. What is TRE to you? What does TRE mean to you?
There's 2 answers to that question. One is what it means to me personally, and what does it mean to me in an opportunity to be in the world? I'd like to answer the second question first. It offers me a chance to contribute and be with people in a way that I can make a difference. And I'm giving people autonomy. I'm not making them dependent on me or on anything. So I just find it a privilege to be able to offer TRE to people and know that they can shake the rest of their lives with or without a provider, with or without me, and they have this tool.
I guess she's not answering the first question. What's TRE to her? I'll answer what's TRE to me. It's been a great excuse for me to be with other people. TRE has I alluded to the fact that it created so much safety within myself, safety that I didn't realize I needed. I didn't even know how I could get to. And when I felt safe in my body, I felt I could move in the world more authentically. I relate to people. I, as you say, Pat, want to socially engage without trying, without putting a lot of effort with others. And through TRE, I have met so many different people from all walks of life. I've met you, I've met Sun. I honestly have to tell you that if I weren't doing TRE, I would have never met you guys. And there were a lot of people who I've interacted with through TRE. I would not even have had coffee with them. Not out of anything. It's just, I would feel like I don't want to reach out. I want to keep to myself. I would only hang out with people I'm familiar with, I'm used to, and then recognizing that that was all because I needed to feel safe. It was a way to protect myself if I kept with people I know, kept with things that I know. But because of TRE, and I feel like I've expanded my world in such a different way. So I am grateful.
Thank you. A way to connect with people, a way to contribute to people's lives. Yeah, thank you.
Also, thank you for this, for allowing us to be part of your podcast and your journey, because that is also another way for us to reach out. So I would have never done it in my pre-TRE self. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you, Ching and Michelle, again for joining us in these 2 episodes. I've learned a lot, and I hope our audience find it insightful and helpful for their practice of TRE, and maybe find more motivation in practicing TRE in daily life. Yeah, we will present more podcasts on TRE in the future. We hope you will follow us. Thank you for watching and listening. Bye. See you next time.